What's up everybody, it's Jimmy today for Star Wars on High, and with the appearance of Cad Bane in the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett, I figured now would be a good time to give a quick breakdown of his character for those who may be unfamiliar with him. Now there is quite a bit of information on Cad Bane, so this video won't cover all of it, but if I miss something or you want me to cover a certain section in more detail, please leave a comment and let me know. Cad Bane was a Duros bounty hunter from the time of the Galactic Republic all the way to the time of the New Republic. After the death of Jango Fett, Cad Bane was known as the best and most experienced bounty hunter in the galaxy, pulling off some of the most insanely dangerous and difficult jobs. By the time of the Clone Wars, Cad Bane was already 41 years old, which is considered very old by Duros standards. But by this time, a job was a job. With the help of some enhancements, Cad Bane became a much more effective bounty hunter. His breathing tubes allowed him to breathe in harsh conditions, even including space, but they were designed in such a way that they were able to counter forced choking, which came in handy since he was hired by Sith and faced off against many Jedi. Any advantage he could have, he would take. His most notable jobs being the Senate hostage crisis and the Holocron heist. During the Senate hostage crisis, Cad Bane was hired by the Hutt clan and ordered to break Zero the Hutt out from the Republic Judiciary Central Detention Center. The plan was simple. Cad Bane, alongside a few other bounty hunters, would enter the Senate building and take senators hostage, including Bail Organa and Padme Amidala. They were then used as a bargaining tool against Chancellor Palpatine. If the Chancellor would release Zero the Hutt, then Cad Bane would let the senators go. Even with the Jedi and the Coruscant Guard intervening, Cad and his bounty hunters were still able to escape with Zero the Hutt in hand, finishing his job with ease. Sometime later, Darth Sidious contacted Cad Bane, hiring him to perform a heist. Sidious wanted Cad to steal a holocron from the Jedi Temple archives. Bane considered this job to be suicide since the temple was well guarded, but after a little persuasion and giving his demands, Cad agreed to accept the job. Partnered with Cad Bane was a Claudite bounty hunter named Cato Parasiti, who took on the form of Jedi Master Ord Innocence and used this form to gain access to the Jedi Temple. Cato basically played the role of distraction while Bane was able to sneak into the vault and retrieve the holocron. But not just any holocron, this particular one held the names and locations of every known Force-sensitive child in the galaxy, something that could be very dangerous in the hands of Darth Sidious, and Cad Bane was able to sneak out of the Jedi Temple with the holocron in hand. Bane wasn't able to keep the holocron though, as he was quickly captured by the Jedi, taking Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Mace Windu using the Force simultaneously to get Cad Bane to take them to the location of the holocron, just showing how strong-willed Cad Bane really was. Shortly after Order 66, Cad Bane was hired again, this time by Lama Su, the Prime Minister of Kamino. The job was to kidnap and return Omega to Kamino before the Empire got a hold of her. He was almost successful, but his job was interrupted by another bounty hunter, Fennec Shand, who was hired by Nala Se for the exact same reason, to get Omega back to Kamino. Only this time Cad Bane was outmatched and lost to Fennec Shand, who helped Omega escape, probably under the assumption that Nala Se did not want to hurt Omega, unlike Lama Su. Which brings us to our most recent appearance, finally the live-action premiere of Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett. He showed up in Freetown in hopes of paying off Cobb Vanth to stay put and not side with Boba Fett in this war against the Pikes, explaining that Boba was a cold-blooded killer who used to work for the Empire. But Cobb doesn't buy into it, but loses to Cad in a shootout, leading us to what could potentially be one of the biggest moments in Star Wars for a few reasons. There was an unfinished episode of the Clone Wars where Boba faced off against Cad Bane. Both of them were so fast to the draw that they both were shot in the head, giving Boba the dent in his helmet. On the other side, Cad somehow survived even though his hat wasn't very protective. Now, this is unfinished footage that was never used, so how could it apply? Well, in the Bad Batch, there is a scene where Cad Bane removes his hat, and there's a plate in the upper side of his head, indicating that he was given an injury at some point. Because of this, I believe we're going to see that scene reimagined in a flashback since we never got it in the Clone Wars. Maybe we'd even be lucky enough to see Daniel Logan, the young Boba Fett actor, reprise his role as a more matured version version of Boba Fett fighting off against Cad Bane during the time of the Clone Wars. That's not all though, as this episode could also give us a rematch between Cad Bane and Fennec Shand, seeing as both Boba and Fennec are probably the only people alive by this point that have faced off against Cad Bane and survived. But I'm also not ruling out Cobb Vanth either, but we'll just have to wait until next week to see if he survived. But what are your thoughts? What is your overall opinion on Cad Bane? Do you think his appearance in the Book of Boba Fett is a smart choice? And do you think that we'll get a callback to that old unfinished Clone Wars episode? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Once again, this is Jimmy for Star Wars on High. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for stopping by.